I want you to look at two different numbers. In the UK, according to the latest figures from the Office for National Statistics, how much households save as a proportion of their income. This fell to 9.5 in the third quarter of 2025. It stood at 10.3 and 10.2 in Q1 and Q2 respectively. So this is basically hovering between 9 to 10%. Now let's compare this with China. According to the China economic updates by the World Bank Group, households contribute about half of total domestic savings, and their savings rate is at 31.3% of disposable income in 2023. This is significantly higher than the OECD average of 5.4% and higher than UK specifically by 20%. I was curious to see what this number would be for Nigeria, but I couldn't find any established report on this number, but I suspect it will be below China. This basically means the average percentage that people save out of their disposable income. Okay, think about the gap between the two, 10% versus 30%. This highlights a clear pattern. China operates a deeply embedded culture of saving. This is an entire culture built on the foundation of retaining a significant portion of their income. And this is as a result of that strategy that is popularly called the 10-to-1 rule. I should mention here though that this doesn't mean that the Chinese save 10 times more than the UK or the US, even though this was a claim at a time, but the measure for comparing was different. Based on recent data, using the same measure, the average Chinese household save 30 times more than the UK household and 5 times more than the US household. This doesn't take away the spirit of the 9-to-1, which means that China is a high-saving economy while the US, the UK, they are high-consuming economies. That rule helps explain why some families quietly build lasting wealth in a single generation, while others stay stuck in a circle of paycheck to paycheck survival. Is the difference between, looking rich today and being wealthy forever. So today I want to show you how this mindset can shape the way you handle money this year and even beyond. Let's first of all talk about the why behind this philosophy. Why is this culture so obsessed with saving while the rest of the world spends? It is because for them, money is not just about buying stuff. Money represents 3 core pillars: honor, protection, longevity. Let's talk about honor. In many Chinese households, being financially responsible is not just about you. It's about your family name. It is seen when you're financially unstable. It is seen as a lack of discipline. And if you're wealthy, you're okay, it is seen as a sign of good character and hard work. When you save, you're honoring your ancestors and providing a solid foundation for your children. It's a big deal for them. The second thing is about protection. This Chinese culture views the world as unpredictable. They don't save because they're stingy or they don't want to spend money. They save because they're realistic. They know that tomorrow there could be health crisis, economic shifts, emergencies, and all this can happen without notice. By living this 10-to-1 rule, they are building an iron wall around their loved ones. They are not just saving cash, they're buying some element of safety for their loved ones. And then the third one is longevity. For most of us, we often think in 30-day cycle, from this salary to the next salary. With this 10-to-1 mindset, the Chinese think beyond the month-to-month, cycle. They think year to year. They think 30-year cycle. They know that the sacrifice they make today would compound and create a legacy for generations. So now let's talk about the habits to reach the 10-to-1 mindset. The first one, you have to master delayed gratification. You have to start seeing every single pound that you have as a worker. If you spend that pound on something that you don't really need, that worker is gone forever. But if you keep it, that worker goes out, brings back more workers for you. And this is in the form of dividend, in the form of interest. And the only way to do this is to also avoid lifestyle creep. When people earn more, they immediately spend more. But if you're following the 10-to-1 logic, your lifestyle stays the same even when your income grows. Then you have to live below your means because you're obsessed with the freedom. Number 2, you must spend with intention. Every time you open your wallet to spend money or you bring out your card to buy something, you need to be clear in your head. Is it a need or a want? A want is a liability that costs you twice. Let me explain. You see, when you spend on a true need, you are actually buying something that protects you, that protects your health, time, income, future. It's going to pay itself back quietly, either through peace of mind or productivity. But a want doesn't just take money from you once. It drains you twice. First, you pay for it, and then you pay again through the opportunity costs, which is the investments that you didn't make, the savings that you didn't build, the freedom that you delayed. And over time, this second cost is greater than the price tag itself. What are you sacrificing at this point for that thing that you just want? So you have to think about wants like that. You're sacrificing something. Number 3, you have to track your spends. Have a budget. I always say that every single money you have should be assigned to a job every month. Remove the pressure of your willpower and automate as much as possible your finances. Automate your savings, automate your expenses, automate your investments. Move a dedicated percentage of your money every month into savings and investments, even before you see it, because if you don't have it in your bank account anymore, you cannot spend it. Yeah. Number 4, kill the leaks. What are the leaks? Your debts, your interest. You cannot play the 10-to-1 game if you're bleeding money to the bank. High interest payments are the absolute enemy of this rule. Every time you pay interest on, say, a credit card, for example, you're basically just working free for someone else. You must avoid high interest debt, like your life depends on it, because I think it does. You should use the debt avalanche method. This is the method where you pay off debts that saves you the most money in interest. So list all your debts from highest interest rates to the lowest, regardless of the balance. And then you make the minimum payment on every debt. Then put every extra pound towards the one with the highest interest rates. Once that debt is cleared, you roll the money you were paying into the next highest rate debt. This helps you create momentum while also reducing the interest that you will pay. It will help you get out of debt faster and cheaper. So number 5, once the debt is gone, you immediately pivot that money into your emergency fund. You need 3 to 6 months fund in a high yield savings account so that when life happens, like I always say, life would happen when you least expect it. When it happens, you don't have to go borrowing or begging. Number 6, finally start investing. You're not chasing trends. You're not chasing hypes. You're not gambling on individual stocks. You're consistently investing in index funds and ETFs. And you allow compounding to do the heavy lifting for you over time. This is a wealth building machine. It works in the background. It requires a lot of patience, I always say, but this is money that you can use to protect your retirement. You can use it to buy back freedom at some point. And if you're not sure how to start investing, I have a video you should watch. I'll link it here. Okay, I know this level of discipline is hard when all you want to do is just to be a baby girl and spend. But honestly, it is also hard to be broke, to be stressed, to be stuck. We just have to choose our hard at this point. One hard can help build our future. The other hard can keep us anxious and uncertain. And if you're thinking, oh, I'm on a low income, how do I do all these things? Then you should see my next video where I talked about how you can make millions even on a small salary. And I will see you in that video.